Hawks fans, we have been in the media so much over the last couple of days, few days, but behind the scenes, guys, something strange is going on because there are new reports out, and I'm going to get into it, and it's surrounding the Atlanta Hawks big man. And I'm telling you, like, just from the report, something strange is going on. And I'm not sure exactly what it is, but we're going to get to the bottom of it together. Because welcome back to Hawks Digest. Go ahead and leave those shoes by the door as you get ready for us in store and this particular video. But before I get into that, you know I have to get into this. Before we get into all the news today, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. When you download Kalshi using the link below, guys, make sure you're putting in Digest NBA. That's Digest NBA, and you'll get 20 off when you trade your first 100. Now, Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the US, and on their platform, you can trade yes or no on real life events, whether it's sports, election, news, and pretty much anything. So, no matter if you're in California, Texas, or the good old state of Georgia, anywhere across the country, Kalshi is here for you. As for myself, I like to use Kalshi as well. And right now, the Atlanta Falcons need a head coach, and Clint Kubiak has a 42% chance of being the Atlanta Falcons' next head coach. But you also have Kevin Stefanski down there as well. No matter who you're choosing, if you put some money on it, you possibly can double your winnings. So make sure that you are doing this because it's a genuinely smart way to just use your news or sports knowledge when you can, and you can close positions whenever you want. Again, guys, download Kalshi using the link in the description, and don't forget that use that code Digest NBA. Use Digest NBA, guys, and you'll get $20 bonus. And thank you again for Kalshi for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to the news. Yes, again, and always thank you to Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Make sure y'all using Digest NBA when you're using the link in the description. And make sure you're joining Kalshi today. But guys, let's talk about it. Double O, Onyeka Okongwu, former first round pick 6 overall. Right now, he's under fire. They're saying that there are doubts. There's reports that are out. Okay, so to be exact, there was an article that came out by a journalist by the name of Kelly. I think it's IKO, and because it's IKO, seriously, and everything. So I'm assuming that he's having some kind of insider knowledge or whatnot because he works for Yahoo Sports. He's saying, and I quote, the Atlanta Hawks, according to conversations with rival executives, that can be anybody, agents, okay, and former players, that the Hawks are unsure of the long-term prospects of Onyeka Okongwu and Muhammad Gay at center from a contention standpoint. Okay. Atlanta is an average defensive team, 16th overall in the defensive rating per Cleaning the Glass. But a core featuring Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson, and Anthony Davis has enough versatility and optionality to rewrite the narrative that would have been otherwise impossible with Trae Young as the centerpiece. Now, guys, I admit he has some some credibility to what he's saying as far as rewriting the narrative, and so being able to have versatility and optionality outside of having with Trae Young. I hear that, but again, it's this Anthony Davis stuff. The Anthony Davis stuff has just got to go for me. That's first and foremost. I feel like in order to get one of those Hawks jerseys, you got to stay healthy. That should be like a new standard for the Atlanta Hawks. Like, my goodness. But let's get back to the point of this. When did the Atlanta Hawks ever indicate that that Moji and Onyeka Okongwu are the long-term prospects for the center position anyway? Moji doesn't even necessarily play center minutes or is at the center position for the most part. He's playing power forward. So the Atlanta Hawks don't use him in that capacity anyway. And if it is, it's only briefly. And the Atlanta Hawks, regardless, they are going to have to find a center, regardless, to anchor this defense, especially when you're having guys like CJ McCollum out there. You got Vit Krejci, you got Luke Kennard. These guys are going to play, and they're not necessarily defense. So you need to try to figure out what center are you going to get to try to help anchor that. But either way it goes, on Onyeka Okongwu so far this season, guys, 16.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, 48% from the field, 36% from three. Now, when you dive a little deeper into it for Onyeka Okongwu, he is a good defender. He can guard a certain point guards and certain centers, hold up with athleticism, on the perimeter. But at the same time, he's just shorter. He's always been shorter, and he's not quite the protector around the rim the same way that a true center would be. The Hawks do give up more points around the rim when Onyeka Okongwu was in there. Now, Kristaps Porzingis, if we could have him fully healthy, it would go a long way because he is a deterrent as well. But unfortunately, realistically, with Porzingis, dealing with Potts and also just with the injury history, and whatever has got a hold of him right now that is not related to the Pots, that he still, is working his way back to getting his win fully back to help Onyeka Okongwu in there. You really can't depend on him and bank on that all the time. But Onyeka Okongwu is still having a career year. Again, like I said, that's 16.2 points and also 3.3 assists. The shooting splits of 48.5, 36.4, and 76.9 are all career highs. And that 36.4 from the 3-point line has been very noticeable because he is shooting that rate on at least 5 threes per game. Now, again, if Porzingis could be there on a consistent basis, you would have two bigs that you could run a double big lineup and both can shoot the three. But right now, again, you are still behind the 8 ball because you're not having a full Kristaps Porzingis healthy, able to play at a long rate, back to backs, etc. You don't have that in there helping the Onyeka Okongwu as well. So again, it's something strange going on about these reports because we've done all these, we've traded away Trae and got more guards and wing play, for guys that can play on the perimeter, but the big man is still the biggest question mark. And to talk about, possibly trading away Onyeka Okongwu, if you're doing that, you have got to get a center in replace of that. But honestly, I don't think the Hawks should get rid of Onyeka Okongwu right now, considering the landscape of the team and where they're trying to go. I think they need to possibly try to add another big man. And I've already said I like Zubats. I would try to call the Clippers and see exactly like maybe what could be worked out for him. But that's just me. Again, I just feel like Onyeka Okongwu is somebody that has been helping the Atlanta Hawks. Because check this out. For the Atlanta Hawks, in the last 6 games, the Atlanta Hawks are number 2 in the NBA in defensive rating at 103.7. In the last 10 games, they're ranked number 4. Onyeka Okongwu is a part of that. Having guys that are able to defend for the Atlanta Hawks, all that stuff is a part of that. So I don't want to have that overshadowed or overlooked. Like, that's not important. Onyeka Okongwu right now is important to the Atlanta Hawks, and I think the Atlanta Hawks should hold on to Onyeka Okongwu. But guys, I also have a little something else for you. I wanted to talk about a little bit about the Warriors versus the Atlanta Hawks. Round 2, the Hawks took round 1. And this, it's a great thing to see. At the end of the day, the Atlanta Hawks really do play pretty well for the past couple of seasons against the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are at home, but before we get into the actual Hawks versus the Warriors, and I'm gonna tell you some things about the Warriors. The Atlanta Hawks ultimately, I'm looking at the injury report. The injury report is looking pretty smooth. Now, Kristaps is questionable because he is having a little injury right now, dealing with that left Achilles tendonitis. But Zaccharie Risacher, left knee inflammation, he's completely out. So with that being said, those outside of Dante, who we know is going to be out for the rest of the season, no Curry, no Corey Kispert, no CJ McCollum. So it's suggesting that they're going to play against Golden State, which I was assuming. I wouldn't know what to be the holdup. Again, they've already taken pictures. I'm pretty sure physical, all that good stuff. So we're expecting to see their debut in Hawks uniforms for these two guys. And when you look at it, the new additions, they're going to be tested early against the Golden State Warriors, right? Now let's talk about these guys just for a brief moment. CJ McCollum. Now, CJ McCollum threw 35 games and they were all starts now. McCollum did average this 18.8 points, shooting on 45% from the field and including that 39% from three. That's on 7 attempts to go along with those rebounds and assists on 30 minutes per game. Now, he's owning the 10th best mark from deep amongst players, averaging again 7 assists. And he also have 2 times this year where he scored 40 points, including 46 points against a team that me and you both know. I'm talking about me and you Hawks fans all know very well. Now, as for McCullough as well, he scored at least 10 or more points in his last 27 games, dating back to November 7th. And he has had 20 plus points 13 times, averaging 20.9 points on 48% from the field, 41% from three, and shooting 82% from its free, aka the free throw line. Now, when you look at over a 13 course career, also this guy knows Steph Curry very well, spending most of his time in the Western Conference and playing against him with the Blazers. He's seen him again with the Pelicans. So again, like this guy, he has seen and knows how Steph Curry is going to operate. But he has a running mate that's a part of the Hawks as well, Corey Kispert. And Corey Kispert right now in his fifth season is averaging 9.2 points, shooting 49%, including 39% from three as well. So again, we got shooters. We have shooters now. We just got to make sure that everything else can mesh well with it on the defensive side to make sure we're not giving up a bunch of points. Because again, we've been doing well on defense the last 6 to 10 games. But going back to it, 2.3 rebounds, 1.7 assists, and 19.5 minutes. He started 2 games this year. He's played in a total of 19 games so far. On for a career level, he's averaging 10.9 points, 2.8 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and 25 minutes per games. While the shooting splits is 47% from the from the field, and 38.3% from the three, 80.2 from its free, aka the free throw line. So again, he also owns the third most three-pointers amongst the 2021 NBA draft class and fourth most amount in Washington Wizard history. So we have guys that can shoot the freaking ball and put it in the basket, guys. At the end of the day, we just got to make sure that we're executing on the defensive side as well. Now, cut just a few notes talking about this matchup going against the Golden State Warriors. They took care of business the other night, taking on those. Who did they just had to play? They just played the Sacramento Kings. Just wanted to make sure. But yeah, the Sacramento Kings took care of business there. The Golden State Warriors have won 6 out of their last 7 games at home, improving to 13-5 at the Chase Center this season. Golden State has also won 8 of their last 11 games overall, home and on the road, regardless. So again, they have a nice lineup. You know, Steph Curry is already there, but they also have Draymond Green, You also have to watch out for DeAnthony Milton, a guy that is leading all reserves with 19 points, and he's had 7 games this season, but at least double-digit points, and he's coming off that ACL, but he's looking really good. Draymond Green, already another pillar there. I've already mentioned Jimmy Butler, but you also have Brandon Porzowski, or no, Brandon Porzowski, as well. So they have guys that can not only move without the ball, but also put the ball in the basket. They have the toughness. Steph Curry, I feel like something that really has enhanced and extended his career is the fact that he put on some size. Because again, he was a guy that was like Trae, so kind of getting bounced around, but he made the adjustments and look at him now. So at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we're taking care of business against these guys. These Warriors, they are right now streaking in the right direction. They are trying to climb up into the rankings. As the Atlanta Hawks, they are the 9th seed right now. The Warriors are hanging around that 8th seed. So it's a big game for both teams. The Atlanta Hawks defense is going to be a must. The Warriors, they've scored a season high of 137 points a few times this season, so they can put the ball in the basket. They also have dished out. They also have games to where they've dished out 39 assists. The last one being apparently against Memphis, and then they also are just a team that improved to 13 overall. Like I said, 8-2 at home when they're scoring 120 points or more this season. But luckily for the Atlanta Hawks, we have been one of the better defensive teams over the last 10 games, and like I said, in the last 6 games. So I'm expecting something is going to have to give. You got offense versus a new look Atlanta Hawks team with better defense right now. Something has got to give. My money is on the Atlanta Hawks as always, but guys, we are just have to execute because this team is not one that you need to be playing with. So, guys, that is my report today for Onyeka Okongwu. And just Moji. I don't recall anything, and there's no evidence that the Atlanta Hawks has ever said that they figure that Moji is going to play center and Onyeka Okongwu is the long-term answer. No matter how you feel about Onyeka, whether you think he was a good draft pick, bad draft pick at the time, you think about it, that was that Anthony Edwards draft, the one that they cheated us out of Anthony Edwards. Yeah, I'm taking that to the grave. That's how I feel. Now it is what it is. But at the end of the day, you look back at that draft. It wasn't a whole lot of selections. You possibly could make a argument about a couple guys, but Onyeka Okongwu, possibly where you was drafted at that 6th spot, was probably the best draft pick that you could get at that particular time, no matter whether you think he was a bad draft pick or a good draft pick, regardless. At the end of the day, I still believe Onyeka, with his improvement on his shooting and being able to space the floor, he's more valuable than, let's say, a season or two ago when he was just buried behind Clint Capella and could not ascend at all. So, guys, until next time, peace and blessings to you all. And to you all, go Hawks, beat those Warriors 2 times, and I'll holler.